Hi there, thanks for joining me today. I have a flip through of a journal I recently completed, and this is a fun little journal. It was originally published in 1887, so this is an old book, and trust me, it looks old, but I'm the kind of person, I like that. I like all those scratches and scuff marks. I love the old crummy edges and all the marks that tells me that it's been well loved, well used, and now it's ready for a new life. It was originally called The Hoggarty Diamonds, etc. by Thackeray, and the inside title says Samuel Titmarsh. So it was actually a compilation of many stories inside this volume. There were several volumes. That T that's on the spine was put there by whichever library it happened to be in at the time. I have a feeling it's been in a few libraries. It was particularly in the Upper Canada Library, Upper Canada College Library, which verifies how old that is. And but this little label I put on there, I just thought it needed a little something extra, so I added a little extra label to give a little more balance between the top and the bottom. Now I have of course, taken the original text block out, put some of the pages back in, made use of some of the pages, and had a lot of fun with this book. It is, let's measure it here, it's about 4 1/4, it's not 4 1/2, but it's a little bigger than 4 1/4, and I don't do that kind of math. And 6 1/2, and it's just barely 3/4 of an inch spine. So I was able to put 5 signatures into it, and there are approximately, I say approximately because I don't want to start counting again, but the last count I did, there's 124 pages of varying sizes in it. And I've added permanent little ribbons using tea-dyed seam binding on the edges to hold it closed, because I have a feeling when the new owner is done with it, it's going to be quite an alligator mouth. And I really do think this is the kind of journal that deserves to be an alligator mouth. I think it'll just give it even more character. So you'll see here, when I made the spine stronger, 1887, it needed a little help, not too much. And I added a little tiny bit of lace at the top and the bottom, and the hidden hollow back you can see right there, and then 5 signatures. And I had some fun with it without overloading it. There's still plenty of room for you to make this yours. This was the original first page. So as I said, it said The History of Samuel Titmarsh and the Great Hoggarty Diamonds, etc., etc., by William Makepeace Thackeray. And I made sure that the 1887 is still showing there so that you know for certain. This is an old book. The end papers originally did have the stamp from the library of the Upper Canada College, and so I was able to find there was a second page where I guess they stamped it again, and I used it and put it back in as the new end paper. And I had some fun with some fussy cutting. I thought this very dapper looking kitty cat getting his boots shined looked rather like a Samuel Titmarsh to me. And I was able to carry on the fussy cutting over onto the next page to give it a little flow. I was really, really tempted to play with a bit of collaging up here to give it a bit more balance. But something inside me said that I need to leave that for the new owner. And if they want that, they can have some fun with that corner and make that their own. Maybe that's where they'll want to put their own ex libris. There's just lots of opportunity to be creative in this book. And of course, the back page is full. Normally I put my own little book plate on the back, but in this case I needed to put it up front. So that just has my signature and the year that I refurbished this little sweetie. So as I said, there are a few pages that are from the original book, original first page here, chapter 1, as you can tell. Oh, and Mr. Titmarsh's tail, it was so long, I wrapped it around the page. Where there is sewing, I have left the threads long, but they're knotted, so you can trim them if you're not fussy about having threads hanging down. I like it, but not everyone does, so feel free to go ahead and trim. So there's some little bits of lace here and there. It really is rather an all sorts kind of book. There's no rhyme or reason to it. There's no theme to it. I just enjoyed myself playing with this book. There's a lot of rough edge, hand torn and rough ruler torn pages, tea-dyed pages with room for you to journal in. Room to journal in. This is a page out of a guest book. It's actually a guest book from a yacht. So you can see there where it says from vessel. So I thought that sounded kind of adventurous, and it sounded like something Samuel Titmarsh might do. And as I said, you're going to see a variety of sizes of pages, and again, just tons and tons of room for you. It's very hard for me to leave a blank spread blank, but I did it. I really, really like new owners to have the opportunity to personalize their journals. In this case, I just did a little sewing detail at the top, and I just sewed part of a cloth, an old cloth measuring tape. Usually they're plastic nowadays, so that's how you know this one's old. And again, the threads are hanging off there. And rough edge again. I just love that. 1887. It should be a little bit rough. This book made me laugh because it really was quite haphazardly put together. None of the pages were the same size. Some of the pages weren't even opened up. So I have to wonder, I don't see how it could ever have been completely read from cover to cover, because I spent a lot of time using a knife blade to split up a lot of the pages. But it all worked out for the best for us. I want a little bit of journaling space here, and this just shows you what you can do. When you have a page with printing on it, you can turn it into a journaling page simply by gluing some blank paper onto it. And then I put a pocket in. This handsome fellow was on the other side of the page that I fussy cut these two off of, and I thought, well, I still have to make use of that handsome kitty cat, so I made a pocket out of him and sewed him in. And then I can't leave pockets empty. I used an illustration from out of the original text block here and just did a little sticker and left it blank for journaling on, but you can put whatever you like in there. And speaking of original illustrations, hold on one second, I have to grab something. The whole book was full, well, not full, but it had a lot of really cute illustrations of the adventures of this character, Samuel Titmarsh. And so what I've done is I've pulled many of them out and just clipped them together so that you can have some fun either collaging or making tags. I put a little bulldog clip. Now this bulldog clip, the clip itself is new. Although I do think I found it at a, I do think I found this at a thrift store. I didn't rust it to make it look old. That is just an oiled bronze looking little bulldog clip. It's very hard to find teeny tiny ones at thrift stores. But it always reminds me, not to be repetitious, but sometimes there are new people visiting. I really try to make my junk journals completely or as much as I can out of junk. So I find things at thrift stores. I find things at estate sales. I'm gifted things through Happy Mail, yard sales, little antique marketplaces, wherever I can find used things to put back into a book. That's my favorite way to make a junk journal. I really like it to be, I don't think it's junk, but I think that that truly makes it a junk journal when it's been made from items that had another life at some point. Even the blank papers that I tea dye, I find these blank papers at thrift stores. This is from a day book that I believe was from 1985, and I just did a little sewing here and a little purposeful messy thread bundles. This is a receipt, a blank receipt from the 1940s, which is kind of cool. Again, as I said, people very kindly send me Happy Mail, which I appreciate, and I love to be able to put back into books. I've used some faux cellophane tape to create a new, strengthened the fold there in that folio. This book, I forget what year it's from. It'll probably be written on the other side. We'll find it. I try my best when I use an old book to write the year of that the book was published. I made a little tag here from one of the pages out of the book. I love when they put these into the back of a book. And I just did a little bit of stamping on the back successfully. I think they turned out good. Stamping's not one of my fortes. And made a little tuck spot here with some collaging and a little bit of lace. Some tea-dyed graph paper. More tea-dyed paper, a blank spread that I resisted. Proud of my strength. Ah, there we go. 1944 for this page. And there again is the faux cellophane tape that I created using alcohol ink. And the other side of that receipt, invoice. So, like I said, just lots and lots of room for journaling. This is a tea-dyed folio that was out of a Beatrix Potter book. Some steno paper. It's so old, it's just got a lovely creamy color. I didn't have to do that to it. Mother Nature did that. This is another temptation that I resisted really strongly. This window envelope, I left it blank for you because these are a lot of fun to have to collage on and really personalize, and I left it alone. Now, if you look in the back here, I've just tucked it full of some goodies, and one of the goodies is an actual old photo of a girl with her dog that I recently received in a goodie bundle from my buddy, and she received it in a goodie bundle from one of her buddies, and we just all shared the love. But I just liked how, oh, let me get that back in there. Sometimes they want to be a little bit persnickety. I like how she just sort of fit right there in the window and is looking out. But that's there for you to have fun with. A receipt or an invoice from 1947. another one of the original pages out of the book. I thought it was blank enough that this really could be used as a journaling page. A true journal writer who uses a junk journal for writing entries in will literally write around the printed words that are on pages and still make use of it for a writing page. So keep that in the back of your mind. This is the, let me show you. It's the folded part of that envelope, the window envelope. So I made it into a tuck spot. And I recently received a lovely box of ephemera from Your Creative Studio, and this is just one of the papers from it, and I just thought I'm going to tuck that in there. I did a little collaging with a little paper doll there that I received in some Happy Mail, and she's sitting on a little pettifour, and it says, "Keep out of mischief." And I don't know how you can stay out of mischief when you've got a pettifour looking that delicious and that large. So Beatrix Potter again, tea-dyed. A little flip out here because it was too wide for the page. Lots of room. A little bit of sewing here with some fabric and a little bit of wrinkling on it. I like how that looks. This is from an old stamp book, and I put in a little tag up here that at one point looked new, even though I did get it thrifted, and I had some fun with alcohol ink and with some glossy accents. I like how that turned out. And you can see that is original staining from cellophane tape. I didn't do that. Whoever had this book previously took all the stamps out of it before they donated the book. Tea-dyed steno paper. Another page out of the original text block. Here's another spread that I resisted doing too much to, but I had a little fun up here. Some more cute illustrations from the original text block. A little tab up here. I thought it went well with all these stamps. This is just a little, I used a film, well, not a film strip, but you know, the films that we all used to have to watch at an aunt and uncle's house of their latest trip. And I took the film out and, oh, there we go, and put some photos in that are kind of fun. Originally it was Norman's Grad, but it's no longer Norman's Grad. It's got some girlfriends having fun. So, and I just attached that with thread with a little bit of through an eyelet. If this isn't for you, that's the nice thing. Undo the eyelet, put whatever you like in there, and put this somewhere else if you want. That's how you make a journal that someone else has made. That's how you turn it into your own journal. You change whatever doesn't suit you. This is a page out of someone else's book. Actually, no, I do think this is still from the same book. I just put it in sideways because, as I said, it was a compilation of a lot of stories into one book. I really love that tea dyeing, how that turned out. More of the cute illustrations. I told you, it had a lot of really cute illustrations in it. Some tea-dyed ledger paper. And it was long enough that I was able to create a flip out. I love when ledger paper still has the number. I apologize for the lighting today. It's quite sunny today, and there's not much I can do when the sun is determined to come in my nice window over here. This was, again, out of the original text block, but I thought there's enough blank paper there. You'll find something to do with that. So I just simply tucked it there. More cute illustrations. Let me bring it up close so you can see. They remind me of the illustrations that are in the original text block from A Christmas Carol. And I haven't researched it yet, but I wonder if it's the same artist. I did take the time. I had to make one tag. Hold on, let me get it. Another one of the similar, well, exact same little clips. So this can always be moved over and just keep using it in the journal. So I had some fun. I made a tag out of this one, the cheaper illustrated edition. I loved that. So I had to have fun with the cheap one. Did a little bit of collaging here, a little bit of stenciling. This part is tea dyed. I had fun with a different way of tea dyeing by crinkling the paper and letting it dry all crumpled up. And I like how that turned out. It kind of looks like marble. And then I had fun with the stencil there. So I did do that, but I tried not to do too much. Leave a lot of it naked. Little ruffle here with some sari silk, and again with some bunched up thread. I love the way that looks. I made a tuck spot. If you follow along on my videos when I'm making these journals, I did make a little tuck spot where it says notice to quit, and it looked like he needed to quit because he did not successfully jump off the horse and through the hoop, and it looked like he needed to find a new career. This library pocket was originally in the book, so I was able to safely get it out of the book, put down a new end paper, and then relay the library card pocket. And I put in, this is not the original library card, but I tea dyed one and put that in there. And then, as you can see, the way I glued it in, it is two pockets. So the behind of it is a pocket, and then the pocket part is a pocket. So, and then this was on the very last page of the book, and I just couldn't resist. So I put it on the very last page. So you can see what I mean when I said I felt compelled to put mine in the front, because the end had to go there. It just had to. It just had to. And then, of course, it's not one of my journals unless I put one of my Two Nanas bookmarks in. So it's there, and I just tucked it there for you to use wherever you want to put that to keep your spot. So that's the little the history of Samuel Titmarsh, 1887. Oh my goodness. It just, this is the sort of thing that really warms my heart to know, like, how many shelves has this book been on? How many libraries did it get moved from? How many homes did it get moved? It obviously sat on a lot of tables and just got picked up because, as I said, there were so many pages that hadn't even been separated and cut apart so that you could read the insides, which I found comical. The pages, you'll see when you go through the ones that I'll include and send along, they're not even all the same length or same size. It was almost as if it was a new publisher trying to figure out how to bind books. And I like that sort of thing. That makes me happy. So thanks for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this flip through of Samuel Titmarsh. I will be listing this book in my Etsy shop very soon. If you follow along on Instagram, usually you'll get a little notice there. And certainly if you have favorited my shop on Etsy, Etsy usually will send out a notice that there's been a new listing in my shop. But don't always trust Etsy. Sometimes you have to go there and just keep refreshing the page if you are indeed interested in taking a look. That would be wonderful. I'd appreciate that. So take care. Have a great rest of your day. and we'll get together soon. Bye.